Let's go to our Rhema scripture today. We are in Ezekiel chapter 20. Ezekiel chapter 20. Ezekiel. Now, Ezekiel is a contemporary of Jeremiah. Okay. Another prophet that God is using at the time to chastise the Israelites who are now in the Babylonian culture. All right, so let's look at this. This is very interesting. Let's look at chapter 20. I realized that last week we got into like one word and then we couldn't even finish a sentence. So we're going to go and read today, okay? We're just going to read. Let's read together. I'm going to read with y'all so y'all can read together with me, okay? Let's read slow. Here we go. And it came to pass in the 7th year, in the 5th month, the 10th day of the month, that certain of the elders of Israel came to inquire of the Lord, and sat before me. Then came the word of the Lord unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto the elders of Israel, and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Are ye come to inquire of me? As I live, saith the Lord God, I will not be inquired of by you. Wilt thou judge them, son of man? Wilt thou judge them? Cause them to know the abominations of their fathers? And say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, in the day when I chose Israel, and lifted up mine hand unto the seed of the house of Jacob, and made myself known unto them in the land of Egypt, when I lifted up my hand unto them, saying, I am the Lord your God. In the day that I lifted up my hand unto them, to bring them forth of the land of Egypt, into a land that I had espied for them, flowing with milk and honey, which is the glory of all lands. Then said I unto them, Cast ye away every man the abominations of his eyes, and defile not yourselves with the idols of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. But they rebelled against me, and would not hearken unto me. They did not every man cast away the abominations of their eyes, neither did they forsake the idols of Egypt. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them, to accomplish my anger against them in the midst of the land of Egypt. But I wrought for my name's sake, that it should not be polluted before the heathen, among whom they were, in whose sight I made myself known unto them, in bringing them forth out of the land of Egypt. Wherefore I caused them to go forth out of the land of Egypt, and brought them into the wilderness. And I gave them my statutes, and showed them my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. Moreover also I gave them my Sabbaths, to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am the Lord that sanctify them. But the house of Israel rebelled against me in the wilderness. They walked not in my statutes, and they despise my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. And my Sabbaths they greatly polluted. Then I said, I would pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness, to consume them. But I wrought for my name's sake, that it should not be polluted before the heathen, in whose sight I brought them. Yet also I lifted up my hand unto them in the wilderness, that I would not bring them into the land which I had given them, flowing with milk and honey, which is the glory of all lands. Because they despised my judgments, and walked not in my statutes, but polluted my Sabbaths, for their heart went after idols. Nevertheless, mine eyes spared them from destroying them, neither did I make an end of them in the wilderness. But I said unto their children in the wilderness, Walk ye not in the statutes of your fathers, neither observe their judgments, nor defile yourselves with their idols. I am the Lord your God. Walk in my statutes, keep my judgments, and do them. Hallow my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign between me and you, that ye may know that I am the Lord your God. Amen. Okay. It's a powerful word, folks. Powerful, I see. He's talking about the holy day worshiping God. Notice here in the wilderness, they had to keep the Sabbath. Of course, they had in Egypt, they were become pagan. But especially in the wilderness, God said, don't break the Sabbath. Because that was the reminder. See, it was the hallowed Sabbath, the holy Sabbath, was a sign between God and man and Israelites about their relationship. Why were they going through all the plagues? Why were they going through all the wars? Why are they going through all this tribulation? Right? You can ask the same question right now. Well, we know, but I mean, the world is asking, why? Right? We knew the tribulation will come. And you can see the cities now. Did you all see New York City? I mean, you didn't go down there, obviously. I didn't go down either. But you can see it from the TV. My Lord mercy, they got Javits Center becoming a hospital. Have you seen this? Packed up to the brim. Keep people crawling on one another in terms of the airports. Well, now they're quite quiet. But even like a couple weeks ago, the airports were nuts. It's pandemonium. Pandemic. The WHO of the World Health Organization, commie organizations that work with the UN and the Communist Chinese, once they determined it a pandemic. Did you notice how everybody... Anyways, just look at the micro to macro, okay? Like 2 weeks before. Okay, let's go back a little bit. I remember we're training with the young people. We're getting ready for these fights that are coming up. My knee blows out, and you all saw it on camera. While I'm training with the big boy, big guy, big Matt, black belt, very tough young man, good fighter, and my knee popped out. Boom, boom, right? So now God is forcing me to take a break. Okay, recover. And my goodness, thank you for everybody's prayers. I recover so, in terms of the pain, recover so quickly. Still have a little bit of stiffness and pain, a little bit. But it was nowhere near last time I injured the other knee. Okay? But notice what happened. You get injured. Okay, and then this starts, getting pretty big. Not really, it's not yet in the news and stuff like that. The coronavirus kind of stuff is not on the news. Okay, it's just very sparsely on the news. We decided to shut the dojo down. I need to recover, and of course, the kids, let them rest. Let's monitor this coronavirus issue. 2 weeks later, the entire world's dojos are shut down. Every dojo in the world. Every single one. This has never happened in the history of jiu-jitsu or MMA. Never. It's never been a case where all the dojos had to be shut down. It's insane. Right? So we shut the dojo down. 2 weeks later, every single dojo in the world has a shutdown. 2 to 4 weeks, right? Depending on what country they were in. Every dojo is still shut down right now. Even right now. And then, of course, we say we're going to monitor the situation, right? Monitor the situation. And we do a service from the palace, and we do it from online, just to test everybody out, make sure everybody is okay, and make sure the system works fine, just in case of worst case scenario, as we're monitoring the situation. And then within 2 weeks, the whole country shuts down. Let alone the whole world. Okay? And then we start gathering again. That happened like last week, but we had like a 2-week break where we went, not break, but we had a service online to test one time just to make sure our systems are good. And then right after that, we had, remember at the range, remember this? And then we got that together at the range, make sure everybody's, we can get communication, and we've improved our communications even better now. We've got ham radio operators now, congratulations. Folks who got ham radio license, congratulations. So through that practice and training, we not only were able to check out our systems, we were able to increase and improve them. And then once we start service again here, then Trump comes out the very next week. That was literally the next week, because he was in the Rose Garden interview this week. Who saw the Rose Garden interview on Fox News with the town hall meeting in the Rose Garden? Okay. That happened this last week, which was, and then we just had done Sunday service back here in the sanctuary where we gather as a community, right? Remember this? The following, the couple days, like I think he did it on Wednesday or something, so it was like 3 days later. 3 days later, he announces, we got to turn back the country on. Did you see this? You're talking about the micro leading the macro. My gosh. Do you understand how crazy that is? I shut down my dojo. The entire world's dojo shut down. I shut down the church just to test our system. So not really shut down, but anyways, we're doing it in different places just to test our systems out. The whole economy is shut down. The whole country has to shut down. Then we turn it back on again, and now Trump's like, we gotta turn it back on again. You can't make this up, folks. This is insanity. This is incredible. This is micro leading the macro. Now, we used to talk about this, and the young people used to say, oh, I guess the old people are just talking like that. They never see anything like this in their life. Young people have never got into a supermarket and seen empty shelves. That's how spoiled Americans are. Okay, right. But we've been to supermarkets, little grocery stores in the rural third world country. You can't get what you want all the time. How many people, of course, the adults have seen this. All of you have been around the world. But it's probably the first time in America where the spoiled Americans who've never been out of this country, literally, went into a supermarket and there's nothing they can't get what they want. The immediate culture of satisfaction is gone. Italy's the same, right? Probably the first time in their lives. And they're saying, oh my goodness, holy Shemitah. This is crazy. And even the lefties are running to gun shops trying to buy guns, even though they don't know what they're doing. They've been anti-gun the whole time, yelling at us, howling at us, spitting on us, mocking us, talking about a rod around you crazy cultist gun cults. Then they're running to get guns. How come they're all of a sudden like gun cult people, huh? Because they know the government will not take care of you. For the first time in their lives, they've realized that they're unprepared. This illusion of stability that this global system and single source supply chain system, really going to China, had illusion of security. And a little bug, probably a super bug, but a little bug, probably manufactured in a bioweapons lab in Wuhan, which has a level 4 bioweapon lab. Okay. And the Chinese have denied that they've been doing bioweapons testing. Who would believe them, huh? They just kill Buddhists, for meditating and organ harvest them and kill people with Bibles. It's a very trustable government, if you know what I mean, right? We should believe everything they say, of course. Oh, Lord mercy, right? This little bug swimming in the air, playing around in the air. This little circle thing with little nodes on it. Did you see this thing? And it's flying around, infecting tens of thousands around the world. Okay, and people are dying. And of course, they're trying to blame it on the evil realm. Look at this. The satanic realm makes the problem, and they want to blame it on the evil realm. So, of course, they make the problem. They release this into the world. Okay? We don't know how it got released, but anyways, it got released from China. China. President Trump, why do you say it's from China? Don't you know that's racist? And it puts Asian Americans at risk. He said, it's from China. He said, China. Every day the coronavirus briefings have become the Trump show. Okay? The entire nation is hanging on every word that President Trump says. And now the leftist media is even saying, hey, don't air the briefings anymore. He's taking over the briefings. Every week he comes out, oh, you're so dishonest. You're nasty, dishonest, bad, fake news, very fake. Every day he comes out and hits him over the head. Okay. It's become the Trump show. Move over, coronavirus. Trump is taking the main stage, okay? But notice how the people who created this crisis, they're blaming him. They're blaming Trump. It's incredible. Now, getting back to Ezekiel, this is a people that was in Egypt. The people in Egypt, when they left, they didn't expect all the plagues to come. They didn't expect that. They just thought some crazy man was speaking about that. He's saying that. Yeah, right, it's going to come. Give me a break. Look how good the weather is. It's ridiculous. Talking about some crazy plagues. Frogs and locusts. Give me a break. Right? They didn't feel that anything was going to come. They didn't feel any wrath would come. They were going to their little, sandy supermarkets, expecting to see their aloe vera and their little pineapple juice. Or whatever. They don't got pineapples maybe in Egypt, but you know what I mean. Honey, I'm headed out to the West Nile supermarket. What do you need? They go to the supermarket. Everything's empty. The toilet paper is all gone. No more aloe vera. No more alcohol. Okay, you understand what I'm saying. Okay. They were unprepared. They were unprepared, folks. And the city people in Egypt, okay? Because remember the Pharaoh was there, this big city and fountains and all this stuff. One of the big metropolises of the ancient world. They have it. They're living good. They're thinking, oh, there's some crazy prophet running around saying there's going to be all these plagues and, oh, we're going to be judged. Yeah, right. Little cult members gathering together, these little small group of Jews. And then you have all these, the Jews that were become part of the Egyptian culture. And they're trying to pretend, no, I'm not, I don't believe in that stuff. I believe in Ra and Amun Ra. I believe in what you believe. See, I am part of the culture. Are you with me, folks? Does it sound familiar? You have all these young people in the public schools. No, I'm not Christian. I don't believe that stuff. That stuff, yeah, I know. My parents believe in it. Yeah. Right? No, I believe it. They give the sign one. Yeah. Bernie Sanders, Bernie, yeah. That says it all. Bernie Sanders has become a symbol of selling your soul to Satan. It's become like a symbol of, I'm not really part of the establishment because I know the establishment is somewhat corrupt. But Bernie Sanders, and if we do it right under Bernie, we're gonna create the right utopian socialist utopia. That's exactly the Egyptians. You don't think the Jews in the Egyptian land were like that? This is what warning about. This Ezekiel 20 is all about that. It's talking about how your fathers took on the idols of the land of Egypt when that was clearly forbidden. They thought it was a big joke. Just some religious stuff that old people talk about. In little gatherings called the Sabbath and stuff like that. Unimportant stuff. I got to get the important stuff done. I got to hang out with Bernie. Xerxes or whatever, whoever it is. I got to go to the local university and feel like I'm important and doing something in the Egyptian land. We're the next generation. We're going to rule this whole land and the world. Just like this. It's the arrogance. You know, we just give in to Pharaoh and his system. We're going to be powerful and big. We're going to get all the girls that we want. It's selling out to the satanic system. Becomes part of the culture. Become part of the norm. They didn't expect a big hit to come. None of these young people expected this kind of worldwide pandemic to hit. Now we didn't know how, but we knew God was going to judge the world and change things around because he has to. Because of the cosmic level fall that the Han Mother has done. By the way, have all you folks seen the new one video that's been released on the internet? Very well done. Richard talked about it on Saturday, but I guess he didn't have the full translation. It's probably being translated. But it goes very much into depth. Remember when Father, for the last couple of years, he had the 천진 참부모 실체 말씀 선포 천주 대회 binder and speech that he was. Everybody must read that. And then wherever Father went, he said he read it over 1,000 times, right? Wherever he went, he read that. And then he also kept Shinjun's picture in there. You know this, right? He kept Junie's picture in there, right? And I say that not to make him, whoop, so he's getting trained by his daddy. He's, today he had to clean the sink. So it got a big clog. All the water stuck in that nasty kimchi jjigae smelling because they just poured it down there and the thing is clogged back up log. Okay. So as a young person, young people expecting mom and dad to clean it. I said, no, boy, you clean it. Daddy will show you. So you got the big pliers out and go in to get the U-pipe system. Take out the U-pipe. Turn it, boy, turn it. Pew! Kimchi. Kimchi juice squirting and spitting and it wasn't terrible. Okay, it wasn't that terrible. Could you not? It wasn't that bad. He did a good job. Right? But why? This is so important. See, this is why having a daddy to train them is so important. Right? Because then mommy, can you ask Shigeru to fix it or something? Can we get Shigi to fix it? Where's Shigi? Shigi. Can we get Shigi to fix it? He knows how to build stuff. Maybe he'll fix it. You see what I'm saying? No. He learns how to fix it. And daddy makes it fix it. You see how important training that is? That's part of education. About being a person, a real person. Right? If you lived in just a Chunjung palace, unfortunately, he would be inept. They would have stolen any power, any real abilities away from him. Used him as a prop. But anyways, you remember that binder that Father carried around, the 천진 장부모 실체 말씀 선보 천추대회. Right? That white binder. And then he said, worldwide, it has to be printed out the same way, in the same font. So whenever I say turn to page 3, everybody has to go to page 3. Okay, remember this? And then in that binder, in that speech, right, he had a picture of Junie, and he carried that binder on. Now the new video goes on to explain why Father was making everybody read that binder of the substantial word binder, right? Substantial word speech. I think that's what it's called in the West. Is that right? Right? In terms of a shortened version, is how you translate it. It's a very hard translation, trust me. The title is very hard, complicated to translate. But it goes into explaining how Father had already made, in front of the elders, okay? In Ezekiel 20, we talk about the elders, right? He's supposed to go into the elders of Israel. So here, Father called the elders of the church. And what did he do? He made the Han mother vow that she will have absolute faith, love, and obedience to the Lord of Second Advent. Right? And that she had promised, and that he had in front of the elders, etc. All of them had seen it and known it. And essentially, that it was upon that pact, upon that promise and vow, that she would fulfill that responsibility. Okay? That he prayed in a prayer that the Family Fraud and these other organizations are saying, look, Father said they're totally one and all this. Remember this? Even Reverend Yu, who has come over to Sanctuary Side, of course, and is standing with the three kingships, and is the OSDP main lecturer, okay, from under Father. Even he has said he heard it twice. When Father told him, it's incredible that the Han mother says that she will divorce me. He heard it. Reverend Yu heard it twice. So she was threatening divorce, right? Life, of course, well, I mean, you all know because we told you this reality. But anyways, the point is, it's coming out more and more. And this video goes into a lot of detail, a lot of speeches, a lot of content. Right, Tim? You felt it was quite good, didn't you? Yeah. So at some point, somebody will translate it and get it up. It's available in Korean. In Japanese? Okay, not in English yet. But you expect that type of cosmic level fall. And then you see, of course, what she's been doing with the heresy of declaring herself only begotten daughter and then God. And oh my gosh, it's so sad. Because we were the only ones trying to warn her, please, mommy, don't do this. You're committing suicide. And do you not fear the wrath of God? Right? Do you just worship power? Do you just believe that in the universe and in the world there's just power? Or do you actually believe that there is a God who will hold you accountable? That's a big question, right? And that's a big question. Not only the Han mother failed in that answer, but guess what? Also the people of Israel failed that too. See how these things are all related? We had a True Parents Day ceremony here a couple of days ago. When was that, on Thursday? Was that on Thursday or Tuesday? I'm sorry, Tuesday. And I had a wonderful talk with my children. After that, we had a nice theological discussion about it. And I said, this is something you have to do when you are in the ceremony, okay, as young people, because they've never been trained to do so, or even have those eyes to be open. When you see the ceremony, try to see the ceremony as if you're like a scholar or studying phenomenology or studying world religion or something. You know what I mean? So you're watching the ceremony, or even just a theologian. For the normal person will see the ceremony, and here we go, here's the king, okay, he's coming, the lighting candles, and then go back up, and there's bow, and stand up, and sit down, and stand up, and sit down. Whatever it is, okay? So by that time, the young people who are brain dead are sleeping. They're already in game land or something, right? But to people who have eyes to see. You could write 20, 30 pages. You could write a whole dissertation on just the candle lighting ceremony alone. On just the candles, you could write a whole 100 pages on that, relating it to all the scriptures in the New Testament, talking about Jesus, talking about candlesticks are not put under the bed, right? Are not put under the bed. Be a light on top of the hill, right? You can relate to all these. You can go back to the Psalms, the Old Testament. God is what? A lantern unto our feet and a light unto our path. All these things. You can go back to what? The tabernacle with the menorah. Go back to the Maccabean Revolution after the reclaiming of the temple after it's been defiled. And now the darkness, the light comes to restore the dark, to chase away the darkness, right? You could tie it to so many rich historical realities that what? Are part of our history. This is what it's saying, folks. This is part of our history. The complete Testament age is not separate from the old and new. It is the final part. All that history that we study every day in the scripture, that's part of our history. Are you with me, folks? Yes. That's us. That's part of our history. So you can see that ceremony right here. Even the offering of the foodstuffs. Like, so I asked my younger kids, okay, now you think, what would the offering of the foodstuffs, what can you reflect on that? And so they started going off and started reflecting. Maybe we could relate that to sacrifice, animal sacrifice, right? In the Old Testament, during the tabernacle period. They started connecting because they were never told, or nobody opened their eye to the fact that when a ceremony like that is going on, you're supposed to go into the depth of meaning almost as like a meditation on the history of God. It's not just, okay, there you go, moving there you go, backwards, there we go, okay. Going up, don't fall down, okay, you get it? You know what I'm saying? It's not like that, right? Oh, look at all the gold, right? Oh, the crowns are glittering. Okay. Oh. No, that's what somebody with a brain dead zombie does. Are you with me, folks? Yes. The art scene has become, by the way, if you study apologetics, you should know that there's a new argument for God's existence, okay, that's being developed by the younger apologetics folks, and it's a very interesting one because it's on beauty. The argument from beauty for God's existence. Okay, so if you want to look into that, go into it. I'm not an expert on it, but generally, it's kind of like all art has a sense of objective beauty. There's objective standards of beauty. For example, there's the golden mean. Okay, there's proportionality. There's pi, whatever the case may be, mathematics, whatever the case may be. There's objective standards of beauty and proportionality. Okay, when things meet that criteria, then we would consider them as beautiful. When they don't, we consider them as not beautiful. So, where does the objective standard of beauty come from? It comes from God. The same way, objective moral values would exist. Okay, which makes rape wrong and evil, not just a human evolutionary byproduct of people claiming taboo, no, but actual rape would be wrong, right? Sex trafficking children would be evil. So it wouldn't just be something that's taboo, it's actually evil. Are you with me, folks? But in order to claim that, you have to have a moral standard of good and evil, from which you can delineate what would be good, what would be evil. Now, there are books written on this. The one that I'm talking about now is called The Moral Argument. There's huge books on that. Okay? Problem with nowadays, people don't read books. And the new argument is being developed by the younger apologists is the argument from beauty. Okay? But it talks a lot about art. It talks a lot about art. And the actual, there in the artistic traditions, traditionally, there is a search for beauty. You're trying to express beauty. Because what those people were painting, whether it was Da Vinci or what Leonardo or Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo, whoever, okay? Whichever the Ninja Turtles were drawing, okay? They were trying to draw beauty, right? Any of the Sistine Chapel stuff. Michelangelo's not drawing, some angel flying in the sky and then his leg is on top of his head or something like that. And say, oh, I'm trendy, huh? Huh? You like that? Michelangelo's not doing that. He's trying to formulate this in beauty. Now, of course, we go into the artists. The artists themselves are people. They're quite sinful many times people. They're quite messed up people, right? So just because they make incredible art doesn't mean they're the artist. The person is sinless, right? But the point is, in fine arts, the tradition of fine arts, right? You are trying to pursue actual beauty. Is that true? Artists, fine artists, people? Huh? I used to be pretty good at art. I didn't like it so much, but I was good at it. Okay, no. But you're trying to pursue beauty. You're trying to depict beauty, represent beauty, manifest beauty, proportionality. Right? But nowadays, in the modern art, no, everything has to be monstrous, ugly. The purposeful breaking of the search for beauty is beautiful. Having no creativity other than grabbing a piece of feces and throwing it on the ground and calling it art, how it splattered. Or how much you can defile things, like drawing Jesus out of feces, right? Or some stupid thing like that, right? You know how they do this? Or even in the movie, how they made fun of in the future, you would have people who are so brainwashed on TV, they would watch a TV show about a man's butt and laugh at it all day. And then in 2018-19, the winner of one of these, winner of one of these abstract art contests. Turner Price, was that his name? He had a statue of what? A male butt. It was just a big butt. You understand? And it was hairy too. This was considered modern art. And these crazy lunatics in the schools, in the government schools, these teachers, were saying, that is so special, honey. That is spectacular. Oh my gosh. I've never seen anything like that. Oh my gosh. That's how crazy these people are. Go ahead, you can look up the article yourself. It's a winner. Is that his name, Turner Price?
No, it's the Turner Prize. It's a big prize for art.
Oh, the Turner Prize. Okay. And who won that made a big butt of a man. And it was like a 60-year-old man or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like insane, folks. Do you understand? We're living in a mental asylum. Okay? Any of you real artists who actually pursue art, okay, fine arts, you have to get really good at drawing. Like your eye has to start getting trained to proportionality, and you have to be able to sketch things in perfect proportionality, 1 to 913. Your eye has to get so trained that you're able to create these different proportions, whether it be the nodes of the fingers, to the arm ratios, to the face ratios. You have to do this because people instinctually we will see that it's off. We know it's off, just like they've done studies in sociology, which show that people consider people beautiful if their face is relatively proportional. According to the golden mean ratio, right? Which is about, 1 to 1.9? I'm sorry, 1 to 1.619, I believe is what it is. My memory's serving me correct, okay? Now, normal people don't understand this because a normal person has been so dumbed down through college and through public government schooling or brainwash camp. They're not really learning anything anymore. They're being trained to be ignorant. Okay? But there used to be a time where artists would actually have to work hard. Somewhat they have to work hard to train their mind and their eye to paint and manifest these pictures that are proportional. And that when people see, they would say, wow, that's gorgeous. They would have to master light and dark and shading and angles and dimensions and proportionality. Now they just mess it all up and call it abstract. Let me just flick a couple stuffs. You know, here's a little paint. Woo, I'm brilliant. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It's utter ridiculousness. And they found a way. They have found a way to glorify what is ugly. Right? Because fine arts used to actually be tied to the pursuit of the absolute nature of beauty. Which is what? God. God is absolute. He has absolute nature. He has beauty within him.
Amen.
Huh? Is that it? That's the thing.
Yeah, 2016.
2016. What's it called? These young people don't believe me, so I got to give them the actual data, the evidence. Don't show the actual piece because it's disgusting. And it shouldn't be called a piece of art. It's ridiculous.
It's based on conflict.
It's based on conflict, victimization. It's based on I create reality. I create the rules of beauty. Whatever. It's become from objectivism, which is that they're objective standards of beauty, to subjectivism, which is I create the standards of beauty. I am God. And as long as you have a nice socialist message tied to it, and you want to save the polar bear because of environmental warming, and you believe you're in Al Gore's cult, all the teachers will, oh my gosh, honey, that was incredible. Oh my gosh, honey, that was incredible. I've never seen something so brilliant. Oh my gosh, speechless. Let's go get some sushi and wasabi. Let's go. These people are crazy, man. They're out to lunch.